Hello, Pat.
Melody keeps unusual company.
I know, Pat's pretty cute though.
Ursus maritimus, if I'm not mistaken. That might be why the temperature controls are set so low in here.
Yeah, definitely a polar bear. I don't want to say that 'cause isn't a polar bear not maritimus? Isn't a polar bear Ursus arctos?
I wasn't aware you knew the scientific name of the species. Ooh, has my interest in proper nomenclature started to rub off on you?
Is a white bear, Turing. What else could he be?
Plenty. Have you heard of a Kermode bear, also known as a spirit bear? Or he could be a white-phased black bear, or even a pizzly. But he's not. It's a polar bear.
Oh no, a polar bear isn't an Ursus arctos, is he? Isn't Ursus arctos a grizzly bear? Because I'm pretty sure that's a trap.
Yep, definitely a polar bear. Unless she dyed his fur. Yep, definitely a polar bear.
Pat is Melody's butler, not yours. He will offer you service only when and only his mistress permits. So, go and stuff. Does a bear? No, never mind. Pat, what burdens you bear? Pat, what's the meaning of life? Woof. Go and stuff. Can I use an item on you? Whoa, that little helmet where's it constantly translating the TV into growls and grunts. Anyway, let's speak to Melody, shall we? Actually, no, let's... Look at Melody. Melody Flores, nanomachine heiress and the owner of the Flower Cybernetics Group. Try again when you have trust fund or hold majority of fortune 500.
If you were one of Fairlight's worker bees, you wouldn't have made it through the door. So why are you here to badger me about poor Hayden?
Yeah, about that.
You have me at a disadvantage, Ms. Flores. You seem far ahead of us on this matter.
Just call me Melody, darling. And of course. But I'll share a secret or two with you.
Okay.
I have so many questions. Do you know what's happened to Hayden?
I wish I didn't. Maybe you don't want to either.
Oh.
Please, Melody, any information you might have. We haven't had access to any of his research notes, and couldn't track down any collaborators he may have been working with. Perhaps if we know more, we might be able to nail down a solid motive.
Well, I don't know if I can speculate on that, beyond the usual corporate infighting. Not that Parallax is known for that, of course.
No, not at all.
We had been catching up recently, and he mentioned feelings of being watched. He started to worry he had been discussing your development with the wrong people. When he stopped returning my calls, and now that you've shown up with a total stranger, it becomes clear what happened.
I see. Can you tell us anything else about his disappearance?
Oh, I'm afraid not, dear. I've been long enough to know what's coincidence and what isn't.
We were hoping you might be able to shine some light on my origins. Fairlight mentioned that you had worked with Hayden in the past.
I see Hayden didn't neglect curiosity in your personality makeup. Well, you and I haven't properly met, but considering how often Hayden badgered me for design schematics of Flowers' latest neural implants, I might as well be your aunt? We'll go with that. I wouldn't mind being an aunt, even to a blue-headed robot.
I wouldn't mind being an aunt. An aunt, eh? An aunt.
I'm touched, Melody.
Well then, I'm willing to answer your questions, for now.
Okay, So how did you help Hayden with Turing?
Indeed, I don't see the connection between your company and Hayden's research into machine sapience.
Oh, Hayden wasn't researching machine sapience. At least not primarily. Not to diminish the importance of your creation, Turing, but it's best you know the truth.
Okay.
Hayden is mainly interested in developing a way to transfer human consciousness into a machine matrix. You can see why neural implants would obviously be an integral part of that.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Okay. Can you elaborate on your involvement?
If you can even call it involvement. It's a small city, and if you're in the tech sector, you are never more than 2 degrees removed from anyone else. When he started looking into this pet project of his, he came right up to my door and demanded access to the research logs behind our earlier implants.
Okay.
Cheeky, but it was impactful and disruptive, as they like to say around here. I couldn't care less about Flowers' patents anymore, so I gave him what he wanted, just to see what he would do. I'm frankly more impressed than I expected I would be, but don't tell him that.
Don't worry. I won't.
Oh, Turing.
Oh, that was a compliment, dear.
Hayden wasn't invested in Turing's development?
I didn't say that. Hayden was quite interested in Turing, even if he is just a step to further research. In fact, he was preparing to publish his findings involving Turing, and I know it's going to make one heck of a splash in the scientific community. See, the most impressive part about you, Turing, is that you're surprisingly stock.
Oh.
I assure you, Melody, my construction involves only the latest and greatest in ROM prototype technology.
Exactly. You're not off the shelf, but you're still just a souped-up ROM, more or less like every other one out there. Your personality algorithms are impressive, but they don't require some new space-age technology to work. Hayden is going to propose that human consciousness transference does not require special brain-like hardware architecture, but merely the right software wrapper to interface with the hardware. Much like how you function.
Oh.
I suppose that is correct. Still, my personality matrices do take up substantial amounts of my processing power. Wouldn't custom hardware have capabilities that better serve such a demanding specialized task?
Sure. There's still plenty of reason in trying to make a computer that works just like a human brain. Efficiency is an important part of that. But if Hayden can emulate the human mind in existing technology, it means we can start the immortality now, rather than waiting for hardware to catch up with Hayden's software. Frankly, I'm not terribly interested in living forever, but there's more than enough people who are.
But how would Turing's development help with digitizing the human mind?
The concept of transferring the human mind into a computer has been an attractive goal for decades. Functional immortality is a powerful lure. The brain is an immensely complicated machine, and even though we know the right buttons to push to make pictures show up, we still can't replicate the entire thing as a technological construct. Even with the virtual reality implants, we're really just relying on the brain's ability to make sense of nonsensical signals. So Hayden decided the best way to make a machine more like the human brain would be to work in the opposite direction.
To make the human brain more like a machine?
Instead of mimicking how the human brain worked, he started writing code that mimicked the functioning of the human mind. Think of it like convergent evolution. Two species adapt in similar ways, but on completely different continents. Hayden is a crack programmer when it comes to information collating. It's why Parallax hired him when they did. So he wrote a bunch of self-modifying learning algorithms that were, frankly, baffling, and let them loose. Poke and prod them here and there to make sure they value the same things humans do.
And that's how Turing came to be?
And we eventually end up with you, Turing.
Yeah, cool.
Interesting. Hayden never revealed any of this to me.
I imagine he's pretty tight-lipped. You were the first prototype he considered a real success, and he was afraid of contaminating your development before he had a chance to make good observations.
Thank you for this, Melody. I understand so little of my origins.
Well, I'm sorry I don't know more of the specifics. Hayden kept me up to date on his progress, but only in the vaguest of ways. If you can hunt down his notes, I'm sure they'll tell you more.
His notes, eh?
Of course, we'll keep looking. Now, perhaps we could ask some other questions?
Sure.
Do you really want to ask this question, but what's the story between you and Fairlight?
Oh, hell, that old bastard and I have been flashing daggers at each other for the better part of 20 years. I contracted out the software development for our first-gen direct-link VR neural implants to System 1. Things were going great, but after the first models sold like gangbusters, Yannick tried to get into bed with me, literally.
Ugh.
I turned him down, very politely, I might add, and then, suddenly all of the cooperation between our companies dried up.
Ugh.
We've been at it back and forth ever since. I'd be damned careful about trusting him if I were you. He's a snake, and he'll do anything he can to get what he wants. Still, I suppose if he tried again now, I might not turn him down. It would be fun to needle him about me still having my own company when he doesn't have his.
I like Melody. I think that's everything we need to know for now.
Good. I can get back to my retirement.
Thank Thank you for your time, Melody. We'll be in touch later.
Oh, one more piece of information for you, if you'd
Oh.
like it. I've got the contact info for a Vincent Mensa, who I think might be of help to you.
A Vincent Mensa. He sounds smart.
Vincent was working more closely with Hayden inside Parallax, mostly on his company-approved research on data collating algorithms for the mesh. I'll send him a message and ask him to meet you somewhere. He owes me a favor anyway, and might be able to give you some more information on anything else Hayden may have been working on.
Thank you very much, Melody.
That would be fantastic, Melody. Perhaps Golden Gate Park?
Be careful, Turing. I don't like Fairlight's stench all over this scenario. Don't show him too many of your cards.
Cards? This euphemism is unfamiliar to me.
Don't tell him anything if you can. Fairlight is more dangerous the more he's informed.
Makes sense. Honestly, I don't really trust him either.
Thank you, Aunt Melody. Wish us luck.
Aunt Melody. And with that, end the episode here, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Joining in next time for more. Until then, bye-bye.